Adam Silver, next time you want to rig the draft lottery, please call me. Because I just saw a robbery committed on national television. For those who don't know, the draft lottery just happened. Guess who got number one? For those who know, it was the flag! How in the world did Nico Harrison trade arguably a top two player in his franchise history at the age of what, 26? And then proceeded to get gifted the first overall pick as compensation? I don't get it. I don't get it. See, this team right here, we had to fight. We had to fight for everything. 20 years. 20 years of lottery odds. And we have never gotten this lucky. And we're one of the biggest markets. I, I, I. When I tell you, I'm furious right now that Nico Harrison pulled off the robbery of the century. Because, funny thing is, I honestly think this team is going to be elite. Because they're taking and picking with Cooper Flag. No ifs, ands, or buts. So you pair Cooper Flag with the defensive infrastructure that already resides in Dallas, with AD, a top 5 defender in the NBA, with Derek Lively, who could play the 5 position, leaving AD at his natural position at the 4. That defense will be unstoppable. Because Cooper Flag, he's not no slouch. He's one of the best defenders in this class, period. So now they have a two-way demon who projects to be NBA great, a Hall of Famer. And they get him right after trading another Hall of Famer. This is insanity because Adam Silver made that call. He made that call. But for the rest of the draft, second overall pick, Spurs. Man, oh man, oh man, the Wemby era is coming. The rich just get richer. The rich just get richer. Because when I tell you, the Spurs, they could be a little tricky. They could take a Dylan Harper. I highly doubt it, even though he's personally to me the second best player in the class. They already have a logjam at guard with just trading for De'Aaron Fox. They have Stephon Castle still, who just came off Rookie of the Year season. They have Chris Paul. They're at a logjam at guard. I doubt they take Dylan Harper. And it's kind of a shame because really, Dylan Harper projects to be a De'Aaron Fox type of guard. A quick, shifty combo guard who could do a little bit of everything. Playmake, attack the rim effectively and efficiently. Good three-point shooter. Well, I think he's a better three-point shooter than Fox, but whatever. But, I mean, at the end of the day, the Spurs also gave a chump change for Fox. So, honestly, this isn't really a mock draft video, but I could see them potentially looking at an Ace Bailey in that direction. But the reason why I find that a little unfortunate is for the team at 3. Philadelphia 76ers jumped to 3. As I just said, the rich just get richer. They already have Maxey. They just got a hit of a gem pick with Jerry McCain last draft. Unfortunately, he did get injured because his season extremely short. But when the flashes he's shown, all-star potential. Joel Embiid, we don't know if he's going to medically retire, what's going to happen with him. Paul George is looking like, we don't hate on players over here. So I'm going to keep my thoughts and comments to myself. But Paul George just doesn't look good right now. But they could use a wing. And Ace Bailey would have been a great wing for them. Luckily for Philadelphia, there's still plenty of options on the board. This is one of the best draft classes we've seen in a while. With VJ Edgecombe, Trey Johnson, they're both bigger combo guards. They could play the three slide down, which, you would want a more traditional, bigger wing like Ace B. I'm pretty sure is 6'10". You would want that when you already have the backcourt of Maxi and McCain, a smaller backcourt, so you would want taller wings, but you can't win them all. Moving on, though, to the fourth overall pick, Charlotte Hornets. The Charlotte Hornets fell down to 4. Well, I really call it down as 4 because some teams did fall. We'll get to them. Charlotte Hornets got 4. I find this a little unfortunate for Charlotte because they really wanted to get into that top 3, man. Well, that top 2, because 3 is the consensus for 3 is Ace Bailey for most. So they already have an Ace Bailey and Brandon Miller, who is literally practically the same player. So this is kind of they didn't get into the top 2, but 4 is fine because at 3 you would most likely be wanting to trade back because why draft Ace Bailey? And I feel like there's a separation between the top 3 and then the rest of the lottery. Like when the Dylan Harpers, Cooper Flags, Ace Baileys of the world, there's a little bit of a step down when you get into the Trey Johnsons, VJ Edgecombs of the world. But not to say that those guys are great. They would probably be top 5 picks in last year's draft. But I'm just saying there's a clear little bit of a gap. Like there's a good separation there. But they stay at 4. They don't have to worry about having to deal with an Ace Bailey, Brandon Miller combo, whatever. And there's still great talent on the board with VJ Edgecombe, Malouch from Duke, because you could say the Charlotte needs center play after almost trading Mark Williams, and it looks like he's unhappy over there. So who knows what could happen over there. But moving on. We got Utah and Washington falling down to 5 and 6. Sorry if I keep looking over. I'm just making sure I get the draft lottery right. 5 and 6. Wow, that has to sting if you're a fan of those teams. That has to sting tremendously because you guys were effectively the worst teams in the NBA, and we had 3 jumps in this draft, and that's something you don't want to hear when you're one of the worst teams. Luckily, the Charlotte Hornets were able to avoid the brunt of that attack. But man, Washington and Utah got screwed. They got screwed. And to be honest, I'm going to keep it a bug. I'm kind of happy. As an NBA fan, I am happy because I want to watch Cooper in Washington or Utah, respectfully, or Dylan Harper. I'm just not a fan of those organizations. I don't think they've ever been a good organization. You could point to the Utah times with Karl Malone and John Stockton, or the Bradley Beal and John Walls of the Wizards, or with the Tingus Pingus. I'm just not a fan of the organizations. I don't like the way they run their organizations. I don't like the directions that they take with the organizations. Like Utah has a logjam of talent. They don't really know what's going on over there. Washington, same thing. Like they have freaking Marcus Smart. I feel like I said his name wrong. Marcus Smart. No, that's his name. Malcolm Brogdon, I think, pretty sure they still have. They just have a lot of players on both teams, and I prefer the more structured environment that the teams that did end up going in the top 3 are. Mavs, heavily structured. Don't get me wrong. Nico is practically a terrorist, but they have a very good structure of players. Two all NBA caliber players already there. Spurs, they have what projects to be a top 3 player of all time. Because Wemby's guy is the ceiling. They have the best coach ever to coach ever on that team. Well, I mean, Greg Popovich did retire from the coaching staff, but he's still going to be there. You know what I mean? And also, the dude, I forgot the person that's coaching, but if Greg Popovich picked them, handpicked by Popovich, I have no reason to doubt his judgment. And then Philly, they have MVP player, uh, Paul George, who had a horrible season last season, but surely he can't play any worse than that. Potential rookie of the year with Jared McCain, who almost could have won if he didn't go down, and Maxey, who is all NBA caliber player. So I prefer that over, a team with not really much direction, just trying to get the OKC approach of just getting talent and picks. I'm not trying to see them go to that. Well, it is what it is. Um, New Orleans, Brooklyn, and Toronto, they all feel like they lost this draft. They fell. Um, Unfortunately for them. Um, and this could mean a lot for the landscape of the NBA because a lot of teams here they didn't really get what they wanted. See the Spurs, Mavericks, Philly, they should not be in the top four. So three teams really just got their dreams crushed. I mean, the Pelicans aren't really starving much because they already do have a tremendous amount of talent. It's just something's in that water in New Orleans. I'll tell you that. But yeah, so who knows what they really want to do with their uh, future direction? I think the Raptors would be approaching a Malaucha route because there's a lot of talent. Like going down, if you're not a top guaranteed top three team, the difference between 4 and 9, it's not much. It's really not much. Honestly, the difference between 4 to like 12 probably it's not a big difference. That's how much talent is. This is a star-studded draft class. If it was up to me, I'm saying there's 5 potential All-Stars in this class minimum. That's my hot take of this draft class. I think this is one of the most talented draft classes and highly talented draft classes we have seen in a long time. I take this class over the Wemby class. Of course, that class had the most highly projected player since LeBron, probably in Wemby. But when you talk about everything else, the Ace Baileys, the Dylan Harpers, the VJ Edgecombs, the what's the dude from Maryland, Derek Queens. They just got a lot here. So that's that. Houston at 10. Houston, they were a second seed, so this is just a cherry on the top. And having the 10th overall pick, I see this pick getting traded. I don't see them sticking picking because after they saw how their offense got devastated in the playoffs, I wouldn't be surprised if they said, hey, Giannis is probably on the chopping block. We got the 10th overall pick. We got a Jalen Green. We got a Jabari Smith. We got future assets. Let's make a splash. I wouldn't be surprised. But again, I also wouldn't be surprised if they stuck in pick because the talent in this class is just undeniable. Then to close out the rest of the lottery, Portland, Chicago, Hawks, Spurs. For the Spurs to get 2 lottery picks in this highly touted class, that's just, I honestly think, besides the Mavericks, they're the winner of this draft. Atlanta, stay stuck at 13, see what they do, get a French top 10 player in the class. That's always a win for a team that's trying to contend. Chicago and Portland, man, do they feel sour because right now Portland has no idea what they're doing. Scoop so far is looking to not project to what he was supposed to be, which is unfortunate, but he's still a good player. Anthony Simons, who knows what's going on there. Shaden Sharp was on a high trajectory, but last season he kind of plateaued. They have a logjam at center with Time Lord, always, who knows. DeAndre Ayton, who knows. And Kling Klong, he can't play consistently. He's always gassed. Like, they just have a lot going wrong over it. Not wrong, but they just got to figure it out. And to add another, like, not solidified guy, not like, hey, I'm going to come in here and this is my shit. To not be able to draft one of those players, which they still could. They very much still could with how good this draft class is. I wouldn't be surprised if they did. But to not get a top 3 pick to be like, all right, we could get a solidified guy to come in here, create the culture, lead the team. I feel like they have a bad taste in their mouth about that. And Chicago, man, I honestly feel like they did this to themselves. Because They knew what the draft class was, and they chose to wait. They chose to blow it up last second. They chose to try and be in contention. So they did this to themselves. Um, so honestly, I feel no remorse for Chicago because they held on to, we're gonna be a mid team in the East. I don't know what that brings to them because honestly, Chicago fans are gonna come to the stadium whether they're in the playoffs, play in, out the playoffs, no matter what. That's just how NBA fans work. Shit, Mavericks fans still go to Mavs games after the terrorist Nico Harrison traded Luka Doncic. You see this? We fight for every. We traded five or six first round picks from Mikal Bridges. We tried to trade Julius Randle. I mean, the cat tree was kind of a fleece, low key, a little bit, but 5 first round picks for Mikal Bridges. And you're telling me Dallas could trade their best player, lose Jalen Brunson for nothing, and be rewarded with the first overall pick a couple of months later? Hey, man. I'm sticking with my boy right here. When I tell you, we'll see Nico in the finals. Y'all see what we doing to the Celtics right now? We'll see Nico in the finals. And we'll get revenge. Jalen Brunson will get his revenge. Coop don't want none of this. Before, with all jokes aside, Dallas, man, Nico Harrison just saved his job. He just saved himself from being sent to the nether realms and being eaten by Alaskan direwolves. So, congratulations to Nico. He just saved the job. And I honestly think with the way the draft is looking, with all these teams that jumped higher than they thought, all the teams that fell lower than they thought, we're going to see a very, very spicy offseason. When I tell you, man, NBA fans, wow, are we spoiled? Wow, are we spoiled? With that being said, I'll catch you on the next one.